Frankie, and I'm a totally unlicensed therapist, giving non-therapeutic therapy to real people with real problems. This is NeverHelp. So, Kate, what brings you here today?
Well, my friends are getting really sick of me. I keep going to them for like all my problems. So I thought I'd talk to a therapist and talk it through.
My field of practice is quite unique. I'm a non-therapeutic therapist. I don't have I'd like to tell you, you're my first ever inmate client. You're my first ever client first. And I'd also, just for full disclosure, I'd like to tell you, you're my first ever inmate client. You're my first ever client. So I'd like to know, how does that sit with you?
Well, I suppose it's okay. Just anyone to talk to would be great.
Let's start at the beginning.
Okay.
But keep in mind, this is a 1 hour session, so
Okay.
hurry up.
Going back to the start, I've got a really quick, fast-paced job, and I'm also a single parent. And juggling both is really, really hard. And sometimes I get confused about like where I am, what I'm doing. And I think it's probably like down to my ADHD as well. Like I keep getting like halfway through things. Like I'm also writing scripts and doing art. And
So I looked up on WikiHow. I was told that it makes people feel more relaxed and at home when you eat in front of them. So.
I'm good.
Continue.
So yeah, I'm just feeling really overwhelmed with like work and then dating as well at the same time. I find that I either have like years of like not dating and finding anyone, and then I'll have 6 months of having like dating people back to back.
Dating people's back.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as I walk up, you turn around and you go, turn around, I want to date your back.
Yeah, kind of.
So intermittently you might hear some noises. That's the shit pipes. So the way this, I don't have an office, you're my first client. So the way this works is, this is a co-working space, not an office. Mm-hmm. And the pipes from the toilet have been like hooked up to the ceiling, and the walls are paper thin. So there's actually a group of Forex traders in the next conference room. So if you hear a noise, don't be afraid, it's just fecal matter.
Okay.
So why don't you tell me about your relationship with your mother?
She is...
Was that her?
She's not up there, is she?
You hear that, Mama? Do you want to expand on your relationship with your mother? Would you like to see her more or less?
I'd love to see her more. Mm-hmm. If I could live with my mum full time, I would. She is the best.
Can I live there?
She'd probably let you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna live there. That's a lot that you've just put a lot on my plate there. Like I said, I'm not licensed as a therapist, so I just feel like you're putting a lot on me, and you know, I have to practice self-care. Self-care is important. Mm-hmm. Self-care, self-love, all the selves, everything is important as long as it's something to do with me. So I just feel like, and it's no disrespect to you whatsoever, but I just feel like you're putting a lot on my shoulders, and I think it's maybe a little bit selfish of you to like come here and give me all your problems. Do you how do you feel about that?
Bit of a shit thing to say, really, isn't it?
Oh, I didn't.
I'm here to like. You're meant to be helping me, right?
Well, but I told you, like, I don't have a license.
Then why am I here?
Well, we can unravel that if you like. Okay. But I only have 1 hour, so
okay.
It may not be enough time. So if you want to start talking, and I'll just start eating.
Okay. So I'm having this problem where I feel like I'm being watched, like by everyone, and I think it's starting from like where I live. Like I have this really like annoying neighbour called Sandra, and she's always moaning at me about what bin needs to go out, if I put the bin out early, and then when I'm in like my garden, she looks over the fence, like I just see these like eyes. I'm like, hi Kate, and I'm like, hi Sandra, and I'm like trying to dig a hole or do a garden.
That you can bury her in.
It's just feels really imposing, and I feel really claustrophobic.
Can I stop you for a second? I'll have the rest of that later.
I think you got most of it in your mouth, really.
Let's circle back. Tell us about Sandra. What exactly about Sandra do you find the most challenging?
It sounds like it's raining shit.
Well, the shitstorm is approaching us.
Okay.
But we can either be the victims to the shitstorm or the perpetrators of the shitstorm shitting down on others like Sandra.
Like seagulls.
Yeah.
So she is just very intense. And she's always, okay, oh, you've got a package. And I'm like, I know, I ordered it.
Yeah.
And then she looks over my fence.
In this non-therapeutic environment, I think it's totally essential that we take accountability, that we acclimatise, that we grow into the person that we're trying to become. So I would suggest not that Sandra is looking over your fence, but rather that your fence is too low and you should build a higher fence, like Trump. Have you ever considered that?
Well, I have actually asked her because the fence between mine and hers is actually her responsibility. So
Okay.
I can't put up a bigger fence. I'd love to.
Okay. Well, I feel like Sandra, we need to reframe, reinvestigate, reinvigorate these thought patterns that come up every now and again and convince you that people are spying on you when they aren't. They're just old and they're retired. But I think what we should do is we should reframe Sandra's relationship with you as an unpaid surveillance operator. So rather than being a spy, why not say Sandra is conducting surveillance? Would that still be an issue for you, or would you? Because if you like, we can get Sandra on the phone. Do you have her phone number?
I do, actually.
Okay. So we've come to terms with the fact that Sandra may be a spiritual being, either from above or potentially below. I think it's time to break the seal of codependency with Sandra for once and for all. Do you agree?
I agree.
Okay, so I think you should give Sandra a call, and I can talk to her. Because as your therapist, I would tell you it's important for you to set boundaries and to seek agency in everything you do. But as somebody who's not qualified to be a therapist, I would just say, let me talk to her.
Let you talk to her. Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah. Maybe, are you going to tell her that who I am and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. Will we be able to hear this? Yeah, okay. you turn it up? Is that the highest?
Hi, hi Sandra. It's Kate from number 7.
Oh, hi dear, how are you?
I'm okay. Listen, Sandra, I'm with my therapist and he would like to talk to you.
Oh, right, okay.
Hello, Sandra.
Oh, hello.
Hello, this is Frankie. I'd just like to clarify that I'm not licensed to be a therapist. But Kate is in here and she is seeking therapy even though I don't have a qualification. I did do 3 years of psychology as an undergrad, but I barely scraped the pass. So with that being said, today we're doing some shock therapy with Kate, but don't worry, we don't have her hooked up to the mainframe. The shock is that as her non-therapeutic therapist, I just wanted to break the seal of codependency. So you're Kate's neighbour, correct?
I am, yes.
And how do you think that's going?
What is this all about? What are you talking about?
Let's move.
I don't even know you.
Yeah.
Kate?
Yeah, okay. Well, that sounds really interesting, but unfortunately we are under time constraints. So as Kate's non-therapeutic therapist, I would just like to let you know that your surveillance methods will no longer be required in number 7. You're spying on Kate and she doesn't have the courage to say it herself. So I'm just gonna let you know that. And yeah, she looks a bit embarrassed. I may have been too blunt, but that's what it is.
So you think I'm spying on her? You think I'm spying on her?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? I don't like the way she doesn't put the bins out in the morning because cats and stuff can get in. So I'm just, I'm just keeping an eye on the neighbourhood.
Do you have cats?
Of course I have cats.
I should have guessed.
Everybody has cats.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this has been.
They get into the bins, and if she's putting them out too late, it's not going to work, is it? Because there's rubbish all over the place, and it's a really nice neighbourhood, and we want.
What do you mean by nice neighbourhood?
Well, it's not got rubbish everywhere. Well, unless Kate puts her bins out too early, and then
You're really.
puts the bins out too early, then we've got a bit of a problem, haven't we? Because all the animals all around, they get in there and they pull out all the rubbish, and the rubbish goes all over the place.
You're really letting Kate have it.
Also, there's lots. I'd like to know what Kate does for a job. There's lots of comings and goings from her house.
Oh.
And I'm just a bit worried about, how she keeps going in and out of the house, and I'm worried about her because,
You know what? The more you talk, I'm actually kind of more on your side now.
Oh, good. Well, you can ask her to put the bins out just, a little bit.
What bin goes out? Is it the green bin on a Tuesday?
Well, the bins, the black bin goes out on the Tuesday.
Oh, we can't say that. That might get us in trouble. But okay.
Oh,
Okay. Well, thank you. This has been so lovely, and I hope you.
black bin and a brown bin.
Yeah.
And on a Tuesday, we
Okay.
have to put one of those bins out. But she's putting them out too early, and there's stuff all over the place. So I've got to keep an eye on her.
Okay. You're gonna continue spying on her. Okay. I'll let her know. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks, Sandra. Bye bye. God, I think you need to move. So you mentioned you have ADHD. Tell me a bit about that.
Well, I find I get like halfway through projects and then I get distracted by really small things and I forget about it for about 6 months.
Yeah.
Until I'm looking through my drive and I find half written scripts or half-written songs or half paintings that I find in my studio, and then I'm like, oh, I was doing that thing.
Do you think I have ADHD?
I mean, I've just met you, and I'm not a licensed therapist.
I just met you. This is a break. Monster Energy, you're not sponsoring this, but there's going to be an email down below. If you want to get onto this action and rent some ad space, then there's the email. If you're not Monster, you can also rent some ad space. Thank you for your cooperation. Yeah, so what was I saying again?
ADHD.
Oh, fuck. Okay, I'm not really interested in that anymore.
Okay. I'm really struggling at work. I feel like because I teach 700 students per week, I find it really overwhelming, and by the end of the week I'll have a student right next to me talking to me, but I can't hear them, but I can hear the group the other side of my studio and what they're, talking about what they're having for breakfast, and I get really overwhelmed with the noise, the sheer noise.
Two things. The first thing is 700 students that you teach for 100 minutes means that you're teaching for 700,000 minutes a week, and I'm not a mathematician, but I think that's just too much for any human, so I can empathize with you. But also, the second thing is, I'm not a licensed therapist. Why are you telling me all this?
How does that make you feel?
Irritated and slightly hankering for a drink of some sorts. So I'm gonna have another sup. So you're a single mum?
I am.
And how is that?
It would be more stressful, but my son is really lovely, and he's grown up as a really well-rounded individual. And I think not having a second parent there has made it really easy to be consistent.
Have you ever considered becoming a double mum? Because the only thing that could be better than one mum is two mums. And everyone knows being gay is something you're born with. But lesbianism, well, that's a choice. Go ahead.
I also played Kaplunk.
Oh yeah. Kerplunk. Like the noise. Yeah.
Onomatopoeia.
Okay.
Kaplunk.
So,
Kaplunk. Onomatopoeia word.
Drama teacher with English teacher tendencies. Okay, grand. So let's see, is there anything, trying to think what else. Okay, so you've spoke about yourself a lot in this session, and that's fine, but I think it's time you ask me a few questions, because like I said, this is an open conversation, I'm not a therapist. I'm in a lab coat. How many therapists do you know that wear lab coats? Don't answer that. So I think it's time you ask me a question. Maybe you could ask me what inspired you to get into this line of work?
What inspired you to get into this line of work?
Can you say it with like 90% less attitude? Like as if you're curious, not like as if I just. We're not going to film this bit, but not as if like you just asked me to ask. Not as if I just asked you to ask. Maybe you could just ask of your own volition.
So, what made you pick this line of work?
Well, I've been going to therapy for years, and I've never really been honest to a therapist, because if I was honest to a therapist, that would mean I'd have to change my behaviour. So I thought the only way to square the circle would be to come in here as somebody who's not a trained therapist, as somebody who has no experience dealing with people or even helping anyone other than myself. I thought it would be good just to feel the power of a therapist, the power that they have over their clients. And so I think it's important for me to feel that, and now I'm being honest, which is a great thing. I'm being honest. I'm being honest about not being a therapist. Whereas before I was not honest about being a good client. So yeah, basically I just thought it would be a good idea just to share some of my wisdom.
Wise words.
Our time is almost up here, Kate, so any parting words you'd like to leave with, and make it quick.
I think that this probably has really damaged my home life with Sandra. So I'm not sure that shock therapy is probably your forte. But thanks for that.
My parting word of wisdom for you, Kate, is that you should never forget where you came from. But you can always try. That shit sounded awful.
Yeah, I think you need help.
Thank you for joining us on NeverHelp.